up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000 or text the show at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Oh, we got another loaded show in the works today, folks. No filibusters today, either. No filibusters. I got in the office this morning, and Grayson Singleton was like, hey, can you maybe not talk for 7 minutes about things that are completely unrelated to our subject matter? And I was like, you know what? That's fair. I probably let the Jeff Ketchum circus music diatribe get a little out of hand yesterday. But good news is we have lots of hard-hitting recruiting information to hit today. Mr. Singleton, how we doing?
What's up, man? It's Thanksgiving Eve. Can't wait to make the trek back down to DF Dub to see the fam. How
Is
about
that the
you?
plan?
Yeah, I'll head back down there about 30 minutes after we get off the air.
The all-important question, how do you and the fam consume your turkey?
How do we consume the turkey?
Yes.
In what sense?
Wrong question.
I was about to say,
that was a little too ambiguous. How do you prepare the turkey?
You know what?
You roast it, you fry it, like what's the Singleton method?
I think roast. My mom's got this ginormous roaster, and
Gotcha.
I think that's how she does it. Now, granted, I have not been home for Thanksgiving prep in about 3 years. So, because I usually show up the day or the night before because of, job responsibilities. But I believe that's how she does it.
In the words of Kendrick Lamar, let me put y'all on game, as I do every Thanksgiving this time, because there is one recipe you absolutely have to have.
You quoting Kendrick Lamar was not on the bingo card for today.
Listen, I can be very unpredictable in the best way. If you have never had the Thune family cranberry relish, I share this every single year.
Ooh, talk to me about
this.
Because
it is life-changing. It is life-changing. So many people, so many families subsist at Thanksgiving on bad cranberry sauce and bad cranberry relish. Like, if you're just getting the Ocean Spray canned stuff, folks, you are doing it wrong. Here's what you need to do, okay? This is a recipe that has been passed down in my family for years and years and years, and it is fantastic. It is arguably the thing I look forward to the most at Thanksgiving. You're going to take a bag of Ocean Spray cranberries, okay? You're then going to take an apple, a whole apple, and an orange, a whole orange. You don't even have to core or peel the apple and the orange. In fact, you shouldn't. Just take an apple and an orange straight off your counter, chop them into chunks, maybe yay big. No one can see my demonstration of the adequate size.
We are
right
on
now,
YouTube.
I guess we are on YouTube. But you're going to chop up an apple, chop up an orange, take your bag of Ocean Spray cranberries, and put them in a food processor or blender. And then you're going to throw in 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Now, you are going to process and or blend this mixture very gingerly, because you want to get it to roughly the consistency of pickle relish. You don't want to blend it till it's smooth.
Okay.
You want to get it to where it's this chunky, like coleslaw kind of relish-esque texture. And then you're going to put it in the fridge and leave it there overnight. So if you want to do this, you do it today. You do it this afternoon. You do it this evening. It needs to stay in the fridge overnight. I don't know what the science behind it is, but speaking from experience, you eat it fresh, it's all right. You leave it in the fridge overnight, it is incredible. So, you're welcome. I just revolutionized your Thanksgiving cranberry experience. Share this with your friends and family.
Mom, if you're listening, let's do this tonight. One more question before we get to our recruiting subject matter.
Okay.
I want to see how Southern influenced your family is.
Okay.
You guys do mac and cheese with Thanksgiving?
We do not. Never have.
Did it? I figured.
Yeah. I'm also, and Ever since I moved down to Oklahoma, there's a lot more of a southern influence and just like the stuff that I cook and prepare.
Yeah.
And I would probably stump for it more if I were a mac and cheese guy in general, but I'm not. I don't
Really?
I've never really been big on mac and cheese.
So you don't do mac and cheese as a side with barbecue or anything like that?
No, man. If I'm ordering barbecue, the sides I'm getting are usually some form of potatoes and then beans.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
I do beans and mac and cheese. My extended family makes a really good mac and cheese casserole.
A listener on the text line asked, "Hey, Parker, can you text that recipe to me?" No, I will tell you again. 1 bag of Ocean Spray cranberries, 1 whole apple, 1 whole orange, 3/4 of a cup of sugar. That's it. 4 ingredients. Easiest thing in the world. Blend it carefully in a food processor until it's about the consistency of pickle relish, still chunky, etc., and then leave it in the fridge overnight. Best cranberries you will ever eat in the holiday season. Tulsa Trev says, "Glad you made it to Oklahoma." As am I, Tulsa Trev. God's country. Evan from Blanchard says, "Happy Thanksgiving to you fellas and Devon Mitchell." You knew it was coming.
Well done. And it's always Evan from Blanchard, by the way, who has the perfect Davon Mitchell jokes.
405-651-3439 is how you tap in with us on the text line today. We got one show until we'll be back Friday, to be clear. We have tomorrow off. We're going to be back Friday. I will be doing the show from the San Antonio area because I'm going to go watch Oklahoma commits Mikhail McCreary, 4-star cornerback in the 2027 class, and Jonathan Hatton, 4-star running back in the 2026 class, who just flipped from Texas A&M earlier this week. Zach from Guthrie says, "Dang it, you cut out when you went over it again. Did you say 3/4 of a cup or 1 cup?" 3/4 of a cup of sugar, Zach. 3/4 of a cup. That, a bag of cranberries, apple, and an orange. That's it. That is all you need. And yes, I said don't peel the orange. Very crucial that you do not peel the orange. Don't core the apple. Just take them off the counter, chop them up, throw them in there. There you go. The show is brought to you today and every day by Dorsey Jones GMC out in El Reno. If you or someone you know are in the market for a brand new vehicle in the holiday season, go check out Dorsey Jones because GMC, as we know, offers some of the most reliable trucks and SUVs on the road today. And Dorsey Jones, which is a family-owned and operated establishment, chock full of employees who have been with the company for more than 20 years, offers fantastic service as well, including half-price oil changes on Saturdays. We appreciate Dorsey Jones for their partnership here. Brian and Bixby says, "Mac and cheese and cranberry sauce, 2 wastes of stomach space."
Completely disagree.
In the words of Khalil the Caterpillar from Jonah, a VeggieTales movie,
Jeez.
that is only half true. I got references on references today.
You're in your bag today.
Damn
Hey,
straight.
Jonathan Hatton and Mikhail McCreary. What do you expect to see and hear from them when you go watch them on Friday?
Hatton is a guy that hasn't talked to anybody in the media since he flipped back from A&M to Oklahoma. So just eager to get him on the record about what went into the decision and how much of his heart was really in Norman the whole time, even after he decommitted last December and wound up with the Aggies. I have not seen Mikhail McCreary with my own 2 eyes. So going to be really, really eager to see what he looks like up close and personal. I have seen Hatton on several occasions, been to multiple of his games, and he is an absolute stud. So that should be a phenomenal game. Mikhail McCreary's alma mater, Johnson High School, is 12-0 this year, and Steele High School, Hatton's alma mater, is 11-1. So that's a clash of the Titans down there on the San Antonio football scene. And the great news about driving down there is that I will drive through Austin.
Okay.
Which is notable because I will be able to get the chocolate chip cookies at Pete Terry's.
Oh, that's right.
Which is always the highlight. It's about the only thing there is to look forward to when you're traveling through Austin. Because there's going to be a lot of traffic. Tulsa Trev says, "Your Thanksgiving bite is missing out. Thanksgiving bite, every fixin' and meat on 1 fork." See, that's just you're doing too much at that point.
I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah, doing too much at that point. You might as well just toss the whole Thanksgiving plate into one giant casserole at that point. Not for me. Chris from Knoxville says, "Parker going from KDOT to VeggieTales. What a day." I got range, people. I got range.
That's some serious ends of a spectrum there, I'll tell you that.
A-Train says, Parker, you ain't peeling that orange. That tells me you're off your rocker, boy. Trust me on this, A-Train. Trust me. The bitterness of the orange peel is very crucial to the flavor profile of the cranberry relish. And if that sounds nerdy, it absolutely is. But when you try it, you will understand why I nerd out about it.
On our YouTube chat, Jimmy Satterfield says, Sup, Parker and Grayson, happy Thanksgiving to you. And Michael's asks, are we rooting for Michigan to win the Big Ten and Bama to win the SEC so we can say we beat both champs? And I will answer the latter part of that question and be an emphatic no.
Yeah, you don't want Michigan to win the Big Ten.
Well, no, the latter part of the question is you don't want Alabama to win the SEC because
also that
Bama's going to jump Oklahoma if that happens, and that could kick Oklahoma from hosting a playoff game. You don't want that. That's the last thing you want to happen is Alabama to win the SEC.
And let's acknowledge there is a possibility that if Michigan were to win the Big Ten, they could jump Oklahoma too.
Yeah, because, conference champion.
Mm-hmm.
I did find it very intriguing that they moved Michigan up 3 spots to 15.
When you look at Oklahoma's at-large resume, though, it is
It
might be
bonkers.
the strongest at-large resume in the country. Like, I would vouch for it as the strongest.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
I was looking at some of the numbers today. The only other team in the top 15 right now with a strength of schedule metric in the national top 15 is Alabama, who has the 9th toughest strength of schedule. Oklahoma's sitting at number 5.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I guess this isn't an Oklahoma statistic, but Oklahoma's opponents, their collective winning percentage this year, at least among FBS opponents, 627. 62.7%. That is the highest amongst any team in the top 15. So, by many metrics, the Sooners actually do have the absolute strongest at-large resume in the country, which bodes really, really well for them to host a playoff game if they beat LSU on Saturday, because it would take a lot. It would take a very specific set of circumstances for anything to transpire such that Oklahoma would wind up traveling in round 1 of the CFP as opposed to hosting.
Yeah, I mean, you would need Alabama to win the SEC for Oklahoma not to host a first-round game, or maybe Michigan to win the Big Ten. You would need – it's not the same thing as a bid stealer, but it's almost like a location stealer, almost, that would push Oklahoma back. Because it seems right now, especially with Oregon leaping Ole Miss, it doesn't seem like Oklahoma's going to get over Oregon unless Oregon loses. And it doesn't seem like they're going to get over Ole Miss unless Ole Miss loses and then Lane Kiffin leaves. Which in that case, unfortunately, that would give the committee a really good opportunity to leave them out of the playoff altogether.
The Lane Kiffin thing is such a circus right now. Such an absolute circus. Did you see, I guess On3 this morning polled a bunch of experts on where they think Lane Kiffin's coaching next year?
I saw this, yeah.
And there's sharp division. Some say LSU, some say Ole Miss, some say Florida. There was one guy that said the Tennessee Titans. And there was one that said Alabama, which that would take Kalen DeBoer leaving probably for Penn State, I suppose. Which I wonder if that happens. I still wonder if that happens, because we talked about a month ago that there was some smoke there. And Penn State has kind of become the job that I can't really figure out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, and I think we most recently talked about this last week. Eric Morris landed at Oklahoma State, as was expected. Alex Golish looks to be, barring any last-second complications, the guy at Arkansas. I'm still favoring Bob Chesney for the UCLA job, but I would concede that Penn State would seem to make a lot more sense for a guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
But is Chesney a sexy enough hire for Penn State and their administration? Do they want to swing bigger and go grab a guy like DeBoer? But Lane Kiffin has everybody sitting on pins and needles over the Thanksgiving holiday, because we're going to know on Saturday, and that'll be the biggest news of the day on Saturday. Like, there will be football games being played, significant football games being played, with implications in the college football playoff picture. And the thing that everybody's going to be talking about on Saturday is Lane Kiffin's decision.
Mm-hmm. Let Ole Miss lose that game. Let Ole Miss lose that game.
Oh, my goodness.
And see what sort of a news cycle we have on a Saturday night into Sunday.
And if they lose that game, Ole Miss might wind up on the outside looking in.
And at that point, it's a done deal. Lane Kiffin's gone.
Yeah. But if they lose that game and Lane Kiffin is gone, and that's kind of what I'm getting at is if they were to lose that game and Lane Kiffin leaves, I think Ole Miss, even at 10-2, might get left out of the playoff because you see the most reliable national experts in the country, Chris Lowe, et cetera, starting to soft launch that bit of, or that hypothetical, I suppose. Hey, don't be surprised if the committee tanks Ole Miss's ranking if Lane Kiffin departs. Mm-hmm. We've seen them do that before, not with a coach, but with a quarterback. Think back
Florida State.
Yeah, Jordan Travis went down with the injury, and Florida State was left out of the 14 playoff field despite going 13-0. 13-0. So, there is so much that hangs in the balance this weekend based on the outcomes of the games and the outcome of the Lane Kiffin saga. Kim from Choctaw says, please specify to core the apple because you cannot blend apple seeds. It will be toxic. Kim, neither I nor anyone in my family has ever cored the apple, and we are all still here.
Are apple seeds toxic?
In like very, very large quantities, I think.
I did not know this.
I think if you were to eat several hundred apple seeds, like, because there's a trivial amount of cyanide in apple seeds.
Okay.
And cyanide in a large enough quantity is obviously toxic.
Yes.
So, Kim, if you want to core the apple, be my guest. All I'm saying is we have never done that. And I turned out all right, at least as far as I'm concerned. Some may disagree. I think I turned out all right. At least that's what my mom tells me. 405-651-3439 is the text line. If you want to keep chiming in with old family Thanksgiving recipes or recruiting questions, we're going to cover a lot of ground over the course of the show. The Sooners have 4 official visitors on tap for this weekend as of right now. We'll dig into those 4 official visitors on the other side. Keep it right here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. You're listening to Locked In.
Locked In is brought to you every day by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. Dorsey Jones GMC is family-owned and operated with a knowledgeable, low-pressure sales staff here to help you through the buying process and half-price oil changes on Saturdays. Visit dorsey-jonesgmc.com for more information.
Hey, Oklahoma, Colton Thompson here at Norman Hyundai. The holidays are right around the corner, and we know you've got places to be. Grandma's house, holiday shopping, and maybe even a little road trip. So we've got great deals on the full Hyundai lineup to make your season just a little brighter. Deals like 2.9% on the all-new Palisade or even 0% on the Hyundai Santa Fe and Tucson. Plus, with America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles, you'll drive away with confidence knowing we've got your back. NormanHyundai.com.
A public service announcement from Oklahoma Human Services. Hey Oklahomans, did you know updating your SNAP food benefits info is a SNAP? Have you changed jobs or hours? Has your monthly cost of housing changed? Have your household members changed? Maybe you've recently moved. If you're a recipient of SNAP benefits in Oklahoma, visit okdhslive.org to update your information. That's okdhslive.org. It's a SNAP, Oklahoma.
Are pests invading your home? Call Avenge Pest Control now and get your initial pest control service at half price. Avenge Pest Control is a family-owned and operated company, proudly serving the entire Oklahoma City metro area, Enid, Ardmore, and the Durant-Texoma area. They take care of all of our pest control needs here at the Ref, and they offer free termite inspections and comprehensive services. With mice and rat season upon us, don't wait. Protect your home today. Get more info at AvengePestControl.com or call 405-693-2233. Avenge Pest Control.
Experience the spirit of OU with live music, weekly events, and unforgettable game days right on Campus Corner. Unwind and recharge at our Tribute Hotel, where comfort meets convenience. Campus Corner is perfect for families during the day and full of nightlife excitement after dark. Freshly brewed coffee or tea, unique boutiques and sports shops, or savor a delicious meal at one of our many delightful cuisine eateries, or enjoy a drink at our lively sports bars. Join us and immerse yourself in the warm, welcoming culture of Campus Corner, the most inviting spot you'll find.
What is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier. I'm State Farm Agent Julia Chu, and my team and I take time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whether you're preparing for retirement or in need of auto, home, life, or business insurance, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit the Julia Chu Agency or call 329-3311. Come visit at our new location, 701 Wall Street, Norman.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at V.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Let's talk turkey. Riverwind is OKC's favorite place to play.
And we've got plenty of jackpots to be thankful for.
Why stop at one thrill when you can chase all three at once?
Play blackjack, baccarat, and roulette on our all-new gaming machine.
Looking for the best in rewards? Elevate your player status when you win with your wild card.
Fridays in November, play for your share of our $120,000 Pixel Power giveaway.
Expect the best at Riverwind.
Hey Max, you look sharp in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world as a guide dog?
You bet, Daisy. And your purple service dog vest really pops against your shiny fur.
First day on the job for both of us. We've got this, right?
You bet. Dogs Inc. trained us well.
Ready to make a difference for our humans?
Born ready.
Discover how extraordinary guide and service dogs change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
I have done some internet research to ensure that I'm not going to wind up getting slapped with a lawsuit because Aunt Shirley made the Thune family cranberries and Uncle Dave wound up needing his stomach pumped because of cyanide poisoning.
I'm sorry, what?
According to medical news today. And I quote, "A lethal dose of cyanide is around 50 to 300 milligrams. A 2018 analysis of previous research states that a person would have to eat around 83 to 500 apple seeds to develop acute cyanide poisoning." So, Kim in Choctaw and any other concerned listeners who are dodgy about the prospect of consuming apple seeds, rest assured, if you're making the recipe the right way, and the recipe the right way only includes one singular apple, which has, what, like 6-8 seeds? You're not going to come anywhere close to having to deal with cyanide poisoning. We are safe.
Okie Joe says, eating excessive apple seeds leads to chronic overpronunciation.
Well, you got me. Must be what it is. I eat so much of the cranberry relish every single Thanksgiving. I mean, I probably knock down half of the cranberries on my own. Everybody else will just have a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm eating that stuff by the spoonful, man. It's so good.
I still can't believe that you don't like mac and cheese. I'm still stuck on that.
Yeah, it's not even that, like, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I'm wildly indifferent to it, you know? And if I'm filling up a plate on Thanksgiving, I don't want to fill it up with stuff that I'm indifferent to.
Okay, that's like that is valid.
With the array of sides and available options that you have at your disposal, because you can't fit it all on one plate anyway.
Of course
you got to
not.
be selective.
Yeah.
You got to go with the good stuff. And so for me, turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, the cranberry relish, maybe some. My wife will do little green bean bundles that are wrapped in bacon, which are delicious.
Interesting.
Yeah. So our plates are going to be full tomorrow. There was a listener that said, both of these sports radio stations in the state of Oklahoma suck. Just talking about a random BS all day. Sorry, sir. Appreciate you listening. Guess what? We do 60 hours of live programming every single week. We're not going to talk about sports for 60 continuous hours. And I don't know that anyone wants that because we can only talk about the OU-LSU game from so many different angles. But we are going to dig into the 4 official visitors that are expected this weekend for Oklahoma. I am told there may be another visitor or two. We shall see. Some stuff could shake late in the process here for Oklahoma. But as it stands, the 4 official visitors expected are recent running back commit Jonathan Hatton, who has been to Oklahoma many, many times. Because, I mean, before he flipped to Texas A&M, or I should say decommitted and subsequently committed to Texas A&M, he was up in Norman all the time. Calendar year 2024, I think he probably took 5 or 6 unofficial campus visits at minimum. So he's very familiar with the campus, but he never did get the chance to take his official visit over the summer because at the time he was 100% shut down in his recruitment with Texas A&M. So he will get the chance to take his OUOV this weekend, as will 3 late targets for the Sooners, 2 of whom are uncommitted, 1 of whom is a flip target. These are names that we have begun discussing with some regularity over the past couple of weeks. And Grayson, I would like to know, how would you rank these 3 in terms of importance to the class between 3-star offensive tackle Jonas Muya of Fort Wayne, Indiana, 3-star center target Noah Abebe out of Friendswood, Texas. Oklahoma likes him on the interior. And 3-star defensive end Malique Franklin, 6'6", 255 pounds out of Daphne, Alabama.
Here we go. I'm going to take Jonas Muya, number hits on the offensive line in 2026 are Deacon Schmidt and Noah Best.
Yep.
Neither of whom are a tackle. So even though you brought in Ryan Foje and Michael Susi last year in the class of 2025, I still don't like the idea of skipping gears where you don't bring in at least 1 tackle, especially given Oklahoma's inability to keep tackles healthy for whatever reason. So that's number 1, Jonas Muya. Also offers a hell of a lot of upside.
He does.
High ceiling. Number 2, I'm going to go with Malique Franklin because I want to get – I mean, that dude is 6'6", 200 and whatever, like 230, 240, what he is. He is a developmental project. I cannot overstate that. He is a developmental project. Still needs technical work. But you give a dude with that athletic profile some coaching and some technical development, I am curious to see what he can become. And there's no other defensive staff that I would love to put in charge of his development than a Brent Venables-led defensive staff. So I'm going to go him number 2, and then I'll go Noah Abebe number 3. There, you already have 2 interior offensive linemen, and that is his first year playing on the offensive line, and the fact that information on him is not so readily available in terms of him playing offensive line. So just by need and by upside, I got Muya number 1, I got Franklin number 2, I got Abebe number 3.
Clarification here, quickly, before we move on. Deacon Schmidt is categorized by recruiting services as an interior offensive lineman. He is actually a tackle for Oklahoma.
That's so he is going to play tackle.
So, yes.
Okay,
as of right now, they have 1 tackle in Schmidt. They have 1 interior guy in Noah Best. If I had to rank them, I would actually rank them in the exact opposite order.
Really?
Yeah. So,
okay, tell me why.
Abebe for me is number 1.
Okay.
I'm a big Noah Abebe guy. I think the upside there is enormous. And I love athletic maulers on the interior. You can never have enough of them. And Oklahoma certainly has one in Noah Best. In my mind, one of the 5 or 10 best interior offensive line prospects in the entire country in the 2026 cycle. Abebe is a guy that played tight end up until this season, so he's still making the transition to offensive line, but he's got prototypical size at 6'4", 290. That's not too little weight. That's not too much weight. That's right around where a guy like that wants to be heading into college, because you figure you're going to bulk him up. You're going to get him in that 305, 310 range probably by the time fall camp rolls around. And then with his natural athletic traits and the quality of his footwork and quickness, there's so much to like about what he can become once developed by Bill Bedenbaugh. I would put Malique Franklin number 2 just because I think that is the type of high ceiling defensive lineman that is going to flourish in time under the tutelage of Todd Bates and or Miguel Chavis, because it's not even entirely clear whether Franklin is going to wind up being a defensive end or a defensive tackle at Oklahoma.
Which is why I didn't name either Miguel Chavis or Todd Bates.
So I do know Bates has taken more of an active role in that recruitment with Franklin, so he's he's kind of the one that's running point, but that's also due in part to the fact that Todd Bates is from the state of Alabama and played at Alabama. So he's got deep relational ties there, as does Jim Nagy, Oklahoma's general manager, who, of course, lived and worked in the Mobile area for years, which is where Daphne, Alabama is. It's down there in the Mobile region. So I don't think Malique Franklin is a year 1 guy. I don't think he's a year 2 guy. Year 3, though? I mean, I don't necessarily want to put Taylor Wine type of expectations on a guy like that. But it is exciting to think what that guy could turn into by year 3 or year 4 in the system at Oklahoma, just based on the abilities that he brings to the table that are going to be polished and refined, especially technically, because like you and I have talked about, he does play a little bit too high. Pad level isn't where it needs to be. You correct some of those weaknesses in his game, there's a lot to like about what he can become.
You remember we said those exact same things about Matthew Nelson, too.
Indeed.
Not necessarily the pad level thing, but you want to see him become more of a football player, right? Right now, he just seems like an athlete in pads. If he can become an actual football player with that athletic profile, that's a scary dude.
Big time. I would put Jonas Muya at number 3 just because I really don't know. And it's hard to know. When you're talking about a guy who has played organized football for all of, 4 months? This is his first year of football. He's athletic as all get out, big as all get out, 6'7", 280. Obviously as traitsy as they come. But is he a football player? Or is he just a jumbo athlete? It's impossible to tell, and it's really impossible to tell how he's going to acclimate at a place like Oklahoma, because that's a big, big leap to make. When you're playing your first year of football in the high school ranks at Indiana, and then all of a sudden, let's say he does wind up at Oklahoma by January, or I guess by March when they open spring ball, you're getting coached up on the practice field by Bill Bedenbaugh, who is as relentless and as old school of a drill sergeant type of coach as they come. Like, you got to be tough. You got to have a level of toughness that I'm not saying isn't there with Jonas Muya. I'm just saying we don't know. We really can't know.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid. But the same logic that you used with the unknown with Jonas Muya is the same that I'm applying to Noah Abebe here.
Fair.
Just because he's moving from tight end to interior offensive line is what you're looking like he's going to play at Oklahoma. So even though he has the size, and he's really, really athletic, man. He is outstandingly athletic. That's one of those things where it's like, is that one going to translate? And with Jonas Muya, like, just because of the framework and the natural raw skills that are there that still need to be ironed out, you can see him having a career where year 1, year 2, you're developing. Year 3, if you're pressing to action, you might be a little bit of a surprise. And I'm welcome to have that at one of the most important positions on the football field, and that's offensive tackle.
Chris from OK, Oklahoma would like to know, what's the word on Dane Bathurst and what kind of player is he? Really good football player. No doubt about that. Really good edge rusher. Less experienced as an off-ball linebacker, which is what Oklahoma sees him as, but as I mentioned right from the jump when we learned that Oklahoma was recruiting Bathurst at that position, that's kind of one where you just throw your hands up and say, Jim Nagy, I trust that you know more than I do. And that's fair. I mean, when you have 2 linebackers that are as gifted as Jacob Curry and Bo Jandro, you can afford to kind of roll the dice with the third guy. And the athletic profile that Bathurst has makes it a rather reliable dice roll. Because if nothing else, if it doesn't work at linebacker, send that dude back to the edge, and he's going to be just fine.
No, and that's the thing where I look at it and I'm saying, okay, yeah, we want to roll the dice with him at linebacker, and that's all fine and good, but I really like this dude at defensive end, though. So, I mean, I guess there is the versatility aspect where you can present different looks and stuff, and I'll tell you, Oklahoma's going to play against a dude on Saturday who has made a similar transition in Harold Perkins, who started off his career as an edge and now has worked into an off-ball linebacker. So that'll be a little interesting dynamic there. But, man, I really like this dude at defensive end. And there's not a whole heck of a lot, even though there's some. There's not a whole heck of a lot of tape of him at backer. Like, how do you think the staff evaluated him and said, we can make him an off-ball linebacker.
I think they probably, what they did was, if you look at his junior tape screams edge rusher, defensive end.
Right.
Like, that's all he is. He doesn't move well enough in space to be able to effectively play off-ball linebacker. The senior tape is a different story. And so I think what Oklahoma was counting on with that is, hey, we might have found something here that the rest of the country hasn't seen. And if they had seen it, there would be a lot more interest in Dane Bathurst in this position, in this role. Now, with regard to Bathurst and the arc of his recruitment, I have been told he is going to OV Nebraska this weekend. Now, I believe that Oklahoma's in the driver's seat, and I think it's going to take a lot for the Huskers to win him over this weekend and supplant Oklahoma in the current hierarchy atop Bathurst's recruitment. So we're obviously going to know within the next week because we are 1 week away from signing day today. But just be wary of that. He is OVing Nebraska. I favor Oklahoma right now. We'll see if that changes over the course of his visit to Lincoln.
We have a question on the YouTube chat concerning Jonathan Hatton. Biggie says, Wilfong reported last night A&M has been on the phone nonstop with Hatton's parents.
Oh, you bet.
Any chances they pull him back?
I mean, you never say never in recruiting. You never say never. But at this point, that would be a pretty wild flip-flop, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
To flip from Oklahoma, I know it wasn't a direct flip from OU to A&M in the first place, but to go Texas A&M to Oklahoma a week and a half before signing day and then back to Texas A&M within a matter of days.
Mm-hmm.
No, the sense I've gotten is that Jonathan Hatton has kind of always wanted to be at Oklahoma. He just needed to know that there was stability in Norman. A&M's not going to stop trying, nor should they. Hatton's an amazing football player that was committed to the Aggies, the undefeated Aggies, mind you.
That, by the way,
have
has stability, too, because they just re-signed Mike Elko.
So, yeah, obviously they're going to keep trying. Obviously they're going to keep swinging. Do I think anything comes of that? As of right now, I do not. But I will certainly update y'all, as will my fine colleagues over at Rivals. OUinsider.com. That's the place to be, folks, if that changes. 405-651-3439. More recruiting news and nuggets ahead as we get ready to take a little holiday break tomorrow. One final segment of Locked In coming up on the other side. This is The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
This is Deion Burks, and you're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Swings, and it's a high fly ball. That's hit deep, way back. It's a goner and a game winner.
Busch Stadium is more than a ballpark. It's where traditions live on. Season tickets keep you at the heart of it all, game after game. Feel the energy of every pitch, celebrate every walk-off win, and create memories that last a lifetime. Plus, enjoy exclusive benefits and experiences available only for season ticket holders. Don't miss your chance to be part of the 2026 season. Unlock your benefits now at cardinals.com/season tickets.
Life is yours to spend. Spend it expanding your balance. Spend it expanding your mind. Spend it wondering what comes next. Spend it trusting that God has a plan. Spend it taking small steps in your own life. Spend it making a big impact on someone else's. First United Bank. Spend life wisely.
Hey, this is Tyler McComas with The Rush, and I just want to tell you about an indoor golf experience that I've never seen before, and frankly, I didn't know existed. I recently spent about 2 hours playing at Land Run Links in Oklahoma City, and I really wanted to stay there all day long. It's a golf simulator, but better. It has 300 courses to offer, and one of the many great things about Land Run Links is it's for all skill levels. Check them out today, landrunlinks.com. That's landrunlinks.com.
Wounded Warrior Project helps post-9/11 veterans and their families realize what's possible. With support and resources that bring warriors together and empower them to become stronger, both inside and out.
It's possible to begin healing.
To get the help you need.
To find peace. And as each warrior's needs evolve, so do we. Because these last 20 years are just the beginning. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
Purple Wave Auction remains the trusted leader in online equipment auctions. What makes the difference is you. You are part of our growing global community that continues to trust Purple Wave with the equipment that builds and feeds America. This trust placed in us by our community, from construction to ag producers and fleet drivers, brings great equipment opportunities to their next owners. Join the Purple Wave community today. purplewave.com.
At Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and safe. And that means safe at home, at school, and online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
Learn more at childfund.org.
Holiday season is right around the corner, and you know what that means. Holiday parties. From small events to big buyouts, Heyday Entertainment has the perfect party package for you. Book a bowling party or a play party at Heyday Norman, or shake things up with a pickleball bash at Hey Pickle Pickle, right off of I-35 and Indian Hills Road. Skip the stress and slay the holidays when you party with Heyday. Call 405-310-3500 to book your event today, or visit heydayfun.com. Heyday, where you choose your fun.
A public service announcement from Oklahoma Human Services. Hey Oklahomans, did you know updating your SNAP food benefits info is a snap? Have you changed jobs or hours? Has your monthly cost of housing changed? Have your household members changed? Maybe you've recently moved. If you're a recipient of SNAP benefits in Oklahoma, visit okdhslive.org to update your information. That's okdhslive.org. It's a snap, Oklahoma.
Let's hit the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line real quick here. A 580 listener says, "You really want to trust Jim Nagy after the Jade Knott pick?" Laughing emoji. Folks, we got to stop doing this, please. We really got to stop with this. We got to stop acting like Jade Knott was some slappy from Azusa Pacific University that Jim Nagy thought was a diamond in the rough. No, Jade Knott was a guy that everybody wanted. Jade Knott was a guy that everybody would have put the stamp on. And it just didn't pan out, and sometimes that happens. That's college football. End of the day, Oklahoma's 9-2, has maybe the strongest at-large resume in the country among teams with a CFP case right now. And they're doing just fine despite the fact that Jade Knott has contributed basically nothing. As we head into the weekend, and this is Locked In, by the way, Parker Thune, Grayson, Singleton, for those of you just joining us here on the Ref as we prepare for the Thanksgiving holiday. As we head into the weekend, obviously we discussed the 2026 visitors that are expected for the Sooners. But it's a big weekend for 2027 as well. Couple names at the top of the wish list for Oklahoma in the 2027 class. 4-star defensive tackle Elijah Harmon out of Inglewood, California. OU primarily battling USC there. He was in town for the Michigan game in September. Big opportunity to take a huge step here with Elijah Harmon towards a potential commitment. I think this is a kid that could wind up making a decision here in the next couple of months, especially if things go well in Norman this weekend. Now, the other Californian in the 2027 cycle that's visiting this weekend that we know for a fact is committing and committing very soon is 4-star cornerback Juju Johnson out of Long Beach. He commits on December 1st, 5 days from today. And I will say this and only this about the Juju Johnson situation. It's generally, it's not hard to put 2 and 2 together when a kid has a commitment date this close to a visit to a particular school. But I will say this much, Oklahoma would have to screw things up and screw things up badly this weekend not to wind up getting Juju Johnson's pledge.
I don't think we've ever talked about this, Parker, but how do you screw things up that badly? Like, what does that process have to look like?
I really don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these are all professionals here and professional coaches and whatnot. Like, how do you screw that up? And I do ask that tongue-in-cheek. But, no, that dude is a player, man. And we talked about this, I believe, a week and a half ago, about just how many DBs could be added to Oklahoma's roster in the 2027 class. It's a very DB-rich talent class, and already you're off to a hot start. You get Juju Johnson, if that is the decision he decides to make. You still got Gabe Osborne out there, 4-star from Mustang. Still got 4-star safety from Broken Arrow, Samaj Stanford, out there. You still have Derek Johnson's little brother, whose name is slipping my mind right now.
Darius.
Darius
Johnson.
Thank you. Almost said Darian. How many of these dudes are they going to take? Is there going to be a cutoff point? Because it seems as if Oklahoma either is in the driver's seat or is in a position because of proximity to be in the driver's seat with a lot of those dudes I just named.
Yeah, first world problems.
Ain't that the truth?
First world problems. Recruiting the secondary. How great is that if you're Oklahoma? And the secondary has been a bugaboo for years and years and years with this program. All of a sudden, you're having to make some tough decisions as to who you're going to prioritize in the 2027 cycle,
right?
Cornerback and safety, man.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Jay Valai certainly is, and I know we're trickling down toward the end of the month. Jay Valai certainly is in the running for KREF Recruiter of the Month, is he not?
He absolutely is, and that's going to be a hotly contested battle because there are several others with a case. DeMarco Murray, just to pick one example. Recruiting Boomer on the text line says, how do you screw up a recruitment that bad? Look at the Messiah Mickens recruitment. I mean, yeah, we got the guy we really wanted, but that's one way. You said it, Recruiting Boomer. They got the guy they really wanted.
That's a totally different thing.
If it were the case that Gabriel Osborne and Darius Johnson both committed before December 1st, I guess maybe that's how you, quote-unquote, screw up the Juju Johnson situation, but I hardly think Oklahoma is going to be going, aw, shucks, if something like that happens.
A texter in the 405 says, forget to pick him up from the airport.
Yes.
That would be a good way to screw that up.
You don't have to worry about that on an unofficial visit, though. An OV, yes, you're responsible for picking the guys up from the airport, though. But the unofficial visit, that's on the kid's dime, and so long as he shows up this weekend, long as he has a good time, it sure looks like Oklahoma's going to be adding Juju Johnson to the 2027 class next week. Which would be commit number 9, Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
Commit number 9.
Where were we in terms of the number of commitments at this point in the 2026 cycle?
Let me think. It was Jaden O'Neal and Ryder Mix. I think that's it. I think it was just those. Well, no, and Hatton. Hatton was still committed at the time.
Oh, that's right.
So Hatton, O'Neal, Mix, that was it. Oklahoma got Will Conroy in mid-December. Remember him?
We haven't talked about him in a
wound
long
up
time.
flipping to North Carolina. Because Hatton flipped back, you wouldn't officially put him in the decommit category when we do the postmortem on this 2026 class. The only decommits at this point in the 2026 cycle for Oklahoma are Will Conroy
and Jaden O'Neal
and Ja'Cory Smith very recently.
That one too.
Those three. That's it. Conroy, O'Neal, Ja'Cory Smith. It's about as good as you could have drawn it up.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how much I have intoned this or explicitly said this, but none of those 3 decommitments were decommitments that Oklahoma was particularly bummed out about. Now, Jaden O'Neal's a dang good player, to be clear. Like all 3 of those guys are, but Jaden O'Neal decommitted less than 24 hours before Bo Bentley pledged. So there was a direct correlation there. I think everybody knew when he decommitted what was coming, and indeed it did come. Papa Boganowski on the text line says, Happy Thanksgiving, Parker, Grayson, Ref Army, and Sooner Nation. Thank you, sir.
Back at
Same
you,
to
homie.
you and your folks. Mustang Sooner says, R.W. McCorders. Yeah, that was a recruitment you screwed up some 30 years ago. Howard Schnellenberger told the kid to take his hat off. But, that was Schnelly for you. Crimson Raven says, speaking of Jaden Ott, if he had another year, do you think any SEC or Power 4 would be battling for him after knowing what happened this year? Absolutely not.
No.
He'd be dropping down to the G5 ranks. Recruiting Boomer says, so is Daniel Odom sticking with us or is he going to flip? I thought I saw something about him. Daniel Odom has not said a word about his recruitment. He has not even tweeted since he announced that he was shutting down his recruitment and locking in with Oklahoma back in July. So I have heard nothing credible to indicate that Daniel Odom will be decommitting from Oklahoma. If I had, I would have at the very least hinted at it. I have not heard a credible word of that. Ja'Cory Smith decommitted, something like that happens, especially in the aftermath of what happened last year down the stretch in the 2025 cycle where Oklahoma lost Grayson Harris and Marcus Harris and Cortez Mills.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can understand one decommitment happens close to signing day. You got your antenna up for more, but it doesn't seem as though there will be more right now.
Tyson from Stigler asks, is Jaden O'Neal having a good year? He did have a good year. They lost in the quarterfinals to Broken Arrow last weekend, but something like 30-something touchdowns to 2 interceptions on the season. Now, I will say I did see him in person a couple of weeks ago when they took on Norman North in the first round. Throws a good ball. I think he had kind of an off game. His accuracy was wonky, to put it mildly, in that game. But, no, he is a P4 quarterback. I will say this. Oklahoma got the better end of Jaden O'Neal versus Bo Bentley. I will say that.
By the way, as the voice of Norman North Athletics on KREFSports.tv, any rumblings on Mason James?
Haven't heard anything.
He posted an offer today from the University of Utah.
He did.
And when you're posting offers while committed to a school, there's not necessarily an exact correlation, but especially this close to signing day, that is something that many folks will read into. Not that it's terribly consequential as far as OU is concerned, but that is a local kid that has torn it up at the high school level the last few years. And as of right now, he is scheduled to sign with Jed Fish and the Washington Huskies. How about this, man? Chris Hummer of 24/7 Sports reported earlier today that Nebraska is bracing for the possibility that Dylan Raiola could enter the transfer portal. I would be shocked if that happened. Because as I said last week, Dylan Raiola burned the boats to go to Nebraska in the first place.
Right.
So, I mean, you're basically, at that point, he's been a Nebraska fan his whole life. It's very obvious why you would be getting in the transfer portal. It's to make a ton of money somewhere. But just think for a moment about what the portal market could look like at the quarterback position this offseason. Because Lenora Sellers is probably going to be in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back to South Carolina if I were him.
Sam Levitt.
Yep.
There's a lot of buzz that he's going to be in the portal.
Yep.
We'll see what happens at Cal with Jaron Kiave Sagapolutele. Their true freshman signal caller. He would be very widely coveted if he were to hit the market.
Isn't that kid from Harvard expected to be a hot commodity?
Jaden Craig, yes. And the O'Brien kid from Penn as well.
Yes.
Couple Ivy Leaguers that are really, really salty players. Man, it's a good year to be quarterback hunting.
And I guarantee you, out of all those names, if Dylan Raiola, injury and all, were to hop into the portal, he'd be the number one portal quarterback. He absolutely would. That's interesting. That's a development to follow. And I was shocked when I heard it, too.
Tyson from Stigler with another question here. Parker, who is your absolute favorite recruit in the 2026 class that you can't wait to watch play for OU? That's a hard question to answer, Tyson, because there are so many dudes that I'm stoked to see at the University of Oklahoma. But my answer is actually a guy that isn't technically in the class yet, but we expect him in the class by this time next week, and that is Jaden Petit. If Oklahoma gets Jaden Petit on board, and I expect that is going to occur, Jaden Petit, in my mind, is the type of monster at the wide receiver position that Oklahoma has not had in a while. I am bullish on what that kid is going to be at the collegiate level.
And I'm interested to see what Jake Krell is going to turn into at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a kid that looks college ready already, and I'm curious to see what he does under the tutelage of Miguel Chavis.
By the way, you want to know what Jasir Rogers' comp inside the building at the Switzer Center is?
Who?
Dede Westbrook.
I can see it.
They love him some Jasir Rogers.
I can see it.
As we close it out here, Grayson, 30 seconds on Eric Morris as the new head coach at Oklahoma State.
No, it's great. You get you a younger head coach who clearly can turn around programs in a very expeditious manner. He could potentially bring a new quarterback into the fold who knows the system, so a Ben Arbuckle, John Mateer type of thing. And potentially, if Oklahoma State wants to pay up, Caleb Hawkins could possibly be in tow as well. So it's really exciting as an Oklahoma State alum. I will say that. So
I think there's
awesome hire.
Yeah, I think there's some real potential for a pretty quick rebuild there.
Yeah,
comparative to,
especially because you're in the Big 12.
Comparative to the traditional timeline, at least. I like the Morris hire a lot for Oklahoma State. All right, folks, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. For Grayson Singleton, I am Parker Thune. We will see you on Friday, same time, same place, with another installment of Locked In.